Hi, this is Rishi Patel, and today we're going to talk about why you feel guilty when you put yourself first. So, let's begin. Well, if you ever do something for yourself, like resting, say no, choosing your needs, and then immediately feel guilt, then this video is for you. Not because you did something wrong, but because your nervous system learned a rule that no longer serves you. And that is, for some people, confidence doesn't collapse when they speak. It collapses when they choose themselves. I'll explain how. So, sometimes you just say no and you feel bad. Sometimes you just feel you rest and you feel being lazy. Sometimes you prioritize yourself and feel selfish. Sometimes you stop overgiving and feel uneasy. So, this guilt is automatic, not logical. I'll explain how. Here's the truth most people miss, and that is guilt is not always a moral signal. Sometimes it's conditioning response. You understand? You get me? Sometimes it's conditioning response from your body. And I explain how. You learn approval is equal to safety. You learn putting others first is equal to belonging. You learn self-sacrifice is equal to good. You are being good. And so when you stop doing that, your system just reacts. It's normal. And the thing is, the guilt often appears when you break an old rule. So this pattern usually forms early. And I explain how. Being helpful was praised. Needs were inconvenient. Conflicts felt unsafe, so you adopted. You accepted the things. And you became considerate and empathetic and responsible for others. But no one taught you how to include yourself. That's not kindness, that's imbalance. And that's what I'm trying to prove right here. So I'll give you a real example how you can apply into your own life, and that is saying no to family, setting boundaries at workplace, and ending draining conversations, choosing rest over productivity. And even when the choice is healthy, the guilt shows up. And not because the choice is wrong, but because your identity is being challenged. You get me? So, here's the shift that changes everything. That is, guilt doesn't mean you are selfish. You're not. It means you are learning to tolerate self-respect. I'll explain how. Self-respect feels unfamiliar at first. Familiar doesn't equal healthy. And discomfort doesn't equal danger. So, growth often feels like guilt before it feels like confidence. I'll teach you how to apply this into your own life. And that is, the next time guilt shows up, don't argue with it. Say eternally, this feeling is a reaction, not a verdict. And stay with the discomfort without reversing the decisions that you are taking right now. And confidence grows when you don't undo self-respect. You understand? So you don't need to become less caring. You need to become self-inclusive. You need to include yourself in these things. And empathy without self-respect leads to exhaustion. So empathy with boundaries create a stability. And if guilt is what stops you from choosing yourself, this is exactly the work that I do in my private one-on-one confidence and clarity sessions, and that is we work through boundaries, self-worth, and emotional regulations, and at just not at the surface level, but we go in advance, in deeper. And if you want to understand this pattern deeply, my book The Power of Empathy is also linked down below. You can check that out also. And in the end, I'll say you are not selfish, you are untrained in self-permission. So choose yourself. Believe in yourself, choose yourself, love yourself. Peace. See you in the next one.